All right, now, as far as history goes, I'm loving this project you're working on. It's you and Jack and Carrie and a few others. I'm forgetting all the names right away, but you're trying to put together a real museum. I mean, there's a bunch of small museums put on by good tattooers around the country, noble cause by noble people, but you're trying to put together a large scale production. And could you give us a little information?
Yeah, well, I that's the problem. I thought because over through all the years that I've been a tattooer, uh, a lot of different ones that I've known have told me, what do we do with all this shit we've collected through all these years? There's no place to put it. So that's why most guys have their own personal little museum, like you were saying, and they're spotted all over the country. Uh, but we don't really, America doesn't really have what I would call a national tattoo museum where people know that's where you go to look at tattoo history. And and so I thought to myself after we did the LA historical museum exhibit probably 5 years ago or more, uh, we thought to our, me and my assistant were talking, Kimiko, about with some of the staff from the museum up there about LA needs a tattoo museum, and so the whole staff came up here, and I tattooed all three of them that worked on that project. They came up to Modesto and I tattooed them, and we went out and had a little talk afterwards. We went out and ate, and we were talking about we got to have a national tattoo museum somewhere, and not like maybe the Smithsonian, although that'd be nice, but it's something of that scale would be pretty grand.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about LA needing one, and I said, well, Long Beach is the port of Los Angeles, and it's got such a history of tattooing. To me, it's really the headquarters of West Coast tattooing, and so I think it should be in Long Beach. And so discussing that, we finally decided, yeah, that would be great. And so that's what I'm working on now. And because Carrie Barba has Burt Grimm's old shop, which is really the historical spot of all times on the West Coast, I would say, for tattooing. And I'm glad she has that because she's really done a wonderful job of preserving it and keeping it alive. But she's totally game with us. We didn't want to rain on her parade or overshadow her or anything. That wasn't my desire. I just felt like there should be more than just a shop. We should have a righteous big building that people from all over the nation can, and not just the nation, but the world could come here. And we want people from Japan to be able to come to the United States and look at tattoos too. And although we have an Asian representative here, with in Los Angeles and in Long Beach, they actually have a little Polynesian tattoo museum. But we need something that's grandiose in size that really represents a lot of American tattooers, and so that's what we're working on. And we've talked to several people involved with the city for redevelopment projects and so forth, and they're all game. The city of Long Beach is crying for expansion and development anyway, and so they're more than happy to work with us on projects, and so that's what we're doing. They're I guess you'd say willing to work with us on so many different areas, and for there's a 3 block area on Atlantic Boulevard there that they've been focusing on trying to redevelop. That's been really pretty let go over the years. But the one builder that we're working with is he's been buying up properties for years around there that are commercial, and I guess that's part of the whole redevelopment thing. They're trying to use those properties in conjunction with the city to help things kind of get turned around. So anyway, we're looking at several locations, and we've got, I believe, enough support in the tattoo world to make it happen, because of, well, within just in the local community there, we've got everything that we could possibly ever need in the way of the trades, being carpenters, painters, and all that. So if we do need construction on the inside of any of these buildings, you know, to make it be what we want it to be, I'm sure we've got all the help we could want or need.
Mhm.
And
I
so,
wonder if there's any grants for, I mean, because there's some serious historical value for the local culture there. So I'm wondering if there might be any sort of city or state, federal
yeah,
grants to support
uh,
such an
uh,
endeavor.
I believe there are, and Kimiko's looking into those, and I'm sure it's all going to be through either through grants or through donations. And people keep calling and wanting to donate already stuff, but we don't have. We need an archive to protect and preserve this stuff. You know, until it can be displayed properly. We can't just start taking stuff and jamming it somewhere, you know, in a garage or closet or anything.
Why
And
not? Lyle Tuttle's been doing it for decades.
yes, yeah.
Man,
But
that guy was planning his museum from the day I met him all the way up to the end. So uh hopefully Danielle pulls through and gets some of that done. I don't know if you guys are working together behind the
we'd
scenes for
like
some of
to.
that.
God bless her. She's got a well, a wonderful package there to take care of. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's really amazing what he has. I saw, of course, I haven't handled everything he's got, but I've seen a lot of stuff he's got, and uh, been to his place and went through a lot of stuff. But uh, I think we're going to be fine as far as contributions from with stuff. But what we need is contributions with money to, that's the main thing right now that we got to focus on is the grants and the contributions monetarily. And so we do have a few, I guess, levels that have been developed for contributors. I guess the top one we could talk about is $2,500 is a lifetime. You're a lifetime member, and with that, you'll get a T-shirt, a mug, and a poster or something. The contributions are what we need to start focusing on. We've already had the first $2,500 contribution come, and also the first $1,000 contribution too. For $1,000, your name gets on the wall on a brass plaque, and so it'll be on down to, you know, I guess the coffee cup level. I don't know. I think it's $75 or something, maybe $50. I'm not even sure. But anyway, we got to have several levels where you could participate, And of course, anything's appreciated. And anyway, it's just going to take a little time, I think, to develop all the funds it takes to make it happen. But if it's if tattooing has been good, as good to everybody as it's been to me, they can all kick down some money, I think.
I agree.
And in fact, people tell me all the time, well, everybody ought to be paying you to even be in business. Look why you started, the black and gray tattooing. And well, if they want to think of it as a tribute to me, well, give me some damn money.
Well, I'm definitely going to help you out somehow for sure. But our bigger job is to get the word out so that we can get the story known and other people can help, and everybody can hopefully start sending a little something to you. Now, these donation packages, are these going to be annual packages, or these one-time packages? Or, I mean, because the museum's going to need money even after it's open, continually.
Oh yeah, sure. It's gonna be, it'll be ongoing, I'm sure. But I think she's considering a $25 or $30 ticket fee to she's done some research, and I think she's decided that that's about the average cost for a museum.
Mhm.
So there'll be a certain amount of money raised like that, but we want to have a gift shop also, and then we actually want to have a cafe for socialization and also a fundraising. I remember Lyle had the Tattoo Rose Cafe, and why not? I mean, it's just another way to contribute money to the support.
Absolutely. I mean, whatever it takes, really. It just needs to get up and running. So, I mean, we're going to do our part. We will plug it through our end. I will be happy to, make a donation on behalf of Needle Jig, and we'll get the word out there. Tell as many people as we possibly can to get this going.